So I thought we'd do a little something different tonight. I do have a reading. Where'd it go? Here it is. That I wanted to go over from the Living Sober book. This is from AA Worldwide Services. Can you read the fine print? AA Worldwide Services. They, of course, they have a lot of literature. It's all available online and offline. But this particular book, I don't know when I got it. A couple years ago, I got it, and it's got some really good stuff in here for people that have an addiction problem. And again, it doesn't matter if it's alcohol, drugs, food, lust, porn, money, job. It doesn't matter whatever your addiction is. There's ways around it and ways to live a more balanced life, shall we say. Okay. There's definitely ways around it. But the last time that we got together, which was on Monday, was it Monday night? I think it was Monday night. Yeah, we had a short one Monday night. And because I had another meeting prior to that. And then last night was a big meeting of Celebrate Recovery. And tonight we're back on our regular schedule. So typically I'll be here from 9 to 10, 10:30. It just depends. It just depends on you guys out there. And if you want me to stick around or whatever, you got things to do, that's fine too. But I usually find that an hour is pretty good. And then, of course, there's all the playbacks. Oh, and that reminds me, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's see. I'm going to have to do some research, but I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to bore you. So one of the important things, well, we talked about using the Serenity Prayer the last time that we got together, and that was on Monday. What I wanted to go over tonight is things that you can do to get your sobriety in gear. If you're new to recovery and you're trying to get sober, no, I'm sorry, I don't. Trying to get sober. One of the most important things you can do is change your old routines. And that's what this chapter is in the Living Sober book. And one of the reasons I like this book too, as opposed to the big book of AA. I mean, the big book is great. Don't get me wrong. But this was first printed in 1975, and the third printing was in 2022. So the language they use in this book is more current, contemporary. And the language they use in the big book of AA from 1935 is a little bit dated. And sometimes it's hard to put it into today's terms, today's understanding, because there's just words in there we don't use anymore. But anyway, this one's very contemporary, the Living Sober book. I suggest it. I'm sure it's available on at your local AA central office, or probably even on Amazon. So changing old routines. You know, what was it? I was when we were reading the big book the other night. It was like it's very important to make changes in your lifestyle. That's the bottom line. You got to change your lifestyle. So let me just get into this a little bit. You'll understand a little bit better what I'm trying to say here. So changing old routines, very important. Certain set times Familiar places and regular activities associated with, now, keep in mind this was put together for primarily alcoholics. However, any addiction will fit in when they're talking here. So I like to substitute, um, drinking alone for drinking and drugging because that's what people do. So certain set times, familiar places, and regular activities associated with drinking and or drugging have been woven closely into the fabric of our lives. Absolutely. Like fatigue, hunger, loneliness, anger, and overrelation. These old routines can prove to be traps dangerous to your sobriety. When we first stopped drinking or using, many of us found it useful to look back at the habits surrounding our using and, whenever possible, to change a lot of the small things connected with that addiction. To illustrate, many who used begin the day with well, if you're an alkie like I was, you begin the day with a morning drink. But now you head for the coffee. Some of us shifted the order of things that we did to prepare for the day, such as eating before bathing and dressing, or vice versa. A change in brands of toothpaste and mouthwash. Be careful about the alcohol content if you're allergic to alcohol. It gave us a fresh, different taste to start out with. We tried a little exercise or a few quiet moments of contemplation or meditation before plunging into the day. So for me, it's all about gratitude. And that's why I start the day with a gratitude prayer. Um, I thank God every morning for waking me up. Believe me, I have to at this age, right? Um, a gratitude prayer. If you've never done one before, doesn't hurt, and it doesn't matter whom you consider to be your higher power, whether it's God or somebody else. It doesn't matter, but it's always helpful to give thanks for the little things that you have in life and the big things you have, for that matter. It's always a good thing to be grateful. Um, Many of us also learn to try a new route. When we first left the house in the morning, not passing by a familiar bar, liquor store, or dealer's house. Yeah, it's always a good idea to try somewhere somehow a little different to get to work or wherever you're going. Some have switched from car to train, depending on where you live, or public transportation, um, or from the subway to a bicycle, from a bus to walking. Others joined a different carpool. Yeah, they still do that. Whether our addiction was in the commuter bar car, the neighborhood gin mill, the kitchen, the country club, or the garage, each of us can spot exactly his or her own favorite place to use and abuse. Okay? Everybody has a favorite place, for sure. If you're in addiction, you have a favorite place. Bathrooms are big too. Um, when you want not to drink or drug, change things around, change your life around a little bit. Um, it helps to shift shopping times and places and rearrange your daily agenda. Working people who used to sneak out for a little fix me up during the day. Ever do that? Now stay in and have coffee. Coffee break. Tea break. Excuse me. I don't know. I'm having a little allergic reaction myself here. I don't normally suffer from allergies, but for some reason this year it's crazy. Um, Change. It's all about change. It's all about change. Changing up your daily routine. Yeah, and sometimes you have to change your friends too. Um, those friends that you had while using and abusing most likely are not your true friends. They're your using buddies, your drinking buddies, whatever. If they're true friends, they're naturally glad to see us take care of our health. And they respect our right to do whatever we want to do, just as we respect their right to do whatever they want to do as well. So, your true friends, now, if you're a drinker, your true friends are not going to say, "Oh, come on over, I'll just have one." No, they won't because they know better. Because one is never enough. Well, I should say, one is too many and 10 is never enough, right? And that goes for your other substances as well. Um, so you may end up having to change some of your friends around. And here it is right here in the book. Took the words right out of my mouth. We've learned to be wary of anyone who persists in urging us to drink or drug again. Those who really love us will encourage our efforts to stay well. Yep. Oh, come over and have a quickie. Come on. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Won't hurt. Right. Oh, now how about getting out of work and going to happy hour? That's a big one. Um, no, got to change that for sure. Got to change that. So you don't go out for happy hour. You change your route for going home. If you can walk home from work, that's great. If not, stay on the bus. Don't get off. Stay in the car. Don't stop. Take a little different route so you don't go past those old hangouts. When we got home, instead of bringing out the ice cubes and the glasses or the pill bottle or the harder stuff, we brewed a pot of tea or coffee, had some fruit or vegetable juice, took a nap, relaxed, took a shower, cleaned up. We learned to vary our diet to include foods not closely associated with our addiction. If we used to wait for the family to go to bed before doing our thing, um, we tried going to bed earlier for a change or take a walk in the evening. Business trips, weekends, and holidays, the golf course, baseball, football, card games. Pardon me. Again, pardon me. My allergy is kicking in. Do apologize for that. That is the craziest thing in the world. I never used to get allergies. hay fever. I never got it. Now all of a sudden, it's bugging the heck out of me. Okay. Yeah, business trips, weekends, holidays, golf course, baseball, football, card games, the old swimming pool, ski lodge. Yeah, when you're first starting to get sober, you got to change things up and avoid anything that's going to give you an urge to use or abuse. Okay, you got to change it up. Um, I think the hardest thing for me was when I was getting sober. I remember one time when I first got sober. It makes me laugh now, but I could have been very angry at a super sweet friend of mine. Um, we were at a wedding, and I was not drinking. And hey, I like to drink something sweet. I usually lived on orange juice if I went to a celebration or something. Just orange juice. I love orange juice. So I have some orange juice. Maybe have them throw some pink stuff in it, cherry juice or something on top. Whatever. Anyway, this particular wedding, they didn't have orange juice per se. They had some uh, some kind of fruit juice. I don't know what it was. Some kind of fruit juice. And I asked my buddy. I said, "Is that?" It happened to be a Jamaican wedding, and he's Jamaican. And I said, "Is that juice? Is that alcohol free?" Oh yeah, yeah, no problem. And everybody else was drinking it. And maybe it is. It's alcohol free, I guess. Okay. I went up. I took one taste of that, man. It would have knocked me on my butt. I had one taste of it. I said, "No, man, look what you did to me." I didn't want to do that. But I never did finish that glass of fruit juice. He did it just to be funny, and God bless him. He's a great guy. Um, but, and we laughed. It was okay. We laughed about it. But that can be dangerous as hell for some people, especially if you're new in sobriety. One taste and you be gone that quick. Some people are like that. I was very lucky, extremely lucky. I was blessed. So that did not happen. No, I'm sorry. I don't speak that either. I speak English, plain old English. Thank you too. Thank you. Yeah, I did have drinking in the service too. Was there? Of course, I wasn't sober then. That was back in the day, and I had a wonderful experience in that too. I didn't get into any trouble, thank God, but I had an experience that I shall never forget. And I'll go into that some other time. It was just embarrassing. That's all. It wasn't anything major. It was just an embarrassing experience. But and it wouldn't have been embarrassing if I hadn't have drank so much wine. That's all. Figure you can think about that one. But the point is, with what we're trying to say here is, you've got to change. You've got to change everything up. So if you go to a wedding, hey, you're going to have to make sure, or celebration of any kind. Actually, it doesn't have to be a wedding. It could be birthday, a family outing, a get together, down at the beach or at the park or wherever a group will be meeting, and they, as obviously normal drinkers or normal people that don't have an addiction problem, um, They'll be partying, but you have to be careful. You have to change it up. And I notice a lot of for people that are alcoholic, like myself. Um, yeah, there's a lot of companies now that are making the non-alcoholic liquors and beverages and beers and whatnot. So you can take advantage of that if you like. Now, if you're using hard substances, that's a different story. Totally different story. So make sure that you have a person there with you that can look out for you and make sure that you don't get any urges, cravings. And if you do, there's things that you can do to um, eliminate those, you know, immediately. Take a walk, go outside, get some air. Yeah, and in our early days of not drinking or drugging, did we get rid of all the booze and the drugs that were laying around the house? Yeah, you better. Oh, look what I found. Here's some. Yeah, no, nope. You better get rid of it all. Most successful people agree that it's a sound precaution to get rid of whatever hidden stashes there may be. And if you're an addict, and it doesn't matter what your addiction is, you're going to have a stash hidden somewhere. And I only say that from experience. You may be different. Now, this is just my opinion, but there'll be a hidden stash somewhere around there. Opinions vary with regard to the amount or whatever you have laying around. It doesn't matter if it's one pill, one cap, one bottle, get rid of it. Some of us insist it was never the availability of the drink or the drug any more than the immediate unavailability kept us from that drink or drug. Um, most of the little changes in routine may seem by themselves trivial. However, we can assure you that the sum total of all such alterations in pattern, in your daily pattern, has given many of us an astonishingly powerful propulsion toward newly vigorous health. You can have such a boost too if you want it. So, the main thing is change your patterns, and that will help you immensely to change your thinking. Okay. Um, Now, I found this book that I had. I got this book. When did I get this book? Two, yeah, it had to be at least 2 years ago. Let's see, what's the copyright on this? What is the copyright? Can I find the copyright? Let's see. Well, where is it? Must be in the very front. This is a book by Dr. John C. Maxwell and Chris Hodges. And it's called Jesus the High Road Leader. follow the path he wants us to travel. This was on the New York Times best-selling list, by the way. And I got a copy of it. Oh, 1990, copyright 91, 92, 95. Oh, I'm sorry. That's different. No, that's he's talking about. No, this is copyright 24, 2024 by John C. Maxwell and Chris Hodges. And I love this book, love the idea of this book. And I wanted to share some stuff in this book with you. I think it's important. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It's a spiritual look at things with Jesus as the focal point. Here's a little poem that John Maxwell wrote in the very beginning, kind of like a foreword to the book. And this is John C. Maxwell, high road leader in sandals of grace, acknowledging humanness, I should say, tears on his face, doing what's right for reasons so pure, giving more than he took, love to assure, gathering people the good news to hear, placing them first, they came from far and near, forgiving so freely he didn't keep score, valuing all people gave him instant rapport. Living a life so authentic and real, speaking words of great hope had such an appeal. Sharing his message with love on his face, high road leader in sandals of grace. John C. Maxwell. Now, who do you think they're talking about? Take a wild guess, right? So I would like to share some of this with you, read a little bit. And I think it's very important. There's different chapters, different sections, and it's an easy read. So let me, I'll start this evening, and we'll start going through it. And hopefully you get a little something out of it. This is chapter 1. What road will you? That's pretty deep. What road will you take? You're going to take the high road or the low road? Jesus has a message for every one of his followers, a message that's clear and life-changing. He expressed it in Matthew 5:13 through 16. Jesus said, according to Scripture, let me tell you why you are here. You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavors of this earth. Wow. If you lose your saltiness, how will people taste godliness? You've lost your usefulness and will end up in the garbage. That's plain language. Here's another way to put it. You're here to be light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I've put you there on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven. Wow. You're a light. Jesus wants to be salt and light. Salt makes things better. Light makes things better. True. And brighter. We're called to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Jesus modeled this every day of his life on earth by being an example of a leader living on the high road. What do I mean by the high road? There are only 3 paths that we can walk in life. Are you ready? The low road, people on this road selfishly take more than they give. And as a result, instead of making the world better and brighter, they make the world worse and darker. The middle road, people on this road focus on fairness and often keep score. They may not be aware of it, but they maintain the status quo and nothing gets better or brighter. Well, that makes sense too. The high road, people on this road follow Jesus, follow his example. They give more than they take. They serve others out of love. They turn the other cheek instead of taking offense. Their lives reflect the behavior of Jesus, and because they do these things, they make the world better and brighter. Many Christians believe that they can take the middle road and be like Jesus, but that isn't true. Follow the life of Jesus in the Gospels, and it becomes clear that he has shown us the path we are to walk. The high road, in fact. Jesus expressed his opinion about Christians who follow the middle road. He spoke about them to the church of Laodicea in Revelation 3:16-17. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I know you inside and out. I find little to my liking. You're not cold, you're not hot. Far better to be either cold or hot. You're stale, you're stagnant. You make me want to vomit. You brag. I'm rich, I've got it made. I need nothing from anyone. Oblivious that in fact you're a pitiful blind beggar, threadbare and homeless. Jesus wants everyone to follow him wholeheartedly on the high road. High or low? It's another sub chapter here. Several years ago, it was popular for Christians to wear bracelets that said WWJD. What would Jesus do? Those letters were meant to be a daily reminder to think about what Jesus would do in any situation they faced. While that may have been a good question, Chris and I want to encourage you to DWJD. Chris being the other co-writer of the book, Chris Hodges. Do what Jesus did. Take the same high road Jesus did. Look at Jesus' example and follow it. Jesus valued all people. Do I value all people? Jesus gave more than he received. Do I give more than I receive? Jesus didn't keep score. Do I stop myself from keeping score? Jesus acknowledged his humanness. Do I acknowledge my humanness? Jesus did the right things for the right reasons. Do I do the right things for the right reasons? Authentic life. Do I live an authentic life? Jesus placed others first. Do I place others first? Jesus brought people together. Do I bring people together? Jesus embraced God's values and lived them out perfectly. Contrast the life and leadership of Jesus with the people who are leading today. Oh, yeah. Our world is experiencing a values deficit. I'm reading out of the book, folks. This is the book. John C. Maxwell and Chris Hodges, Jesus the High Road Leader. Okay. So, our world is experiencing a values deficit. Too many leaders devalue people who are not like them and fail to live out high road values. Isn't that the truth? Sadly, this happens even in the church. Why? I believe we become distracted. Too many of us have put our hope in government and human laws to bring about a better life for us. Even worse, we put our hope in elected leaders of both parties who don't embrace the values of Jesus. Many of these people are low road leaders. Civility, lack authenticity, divide the people, place themselves and their party above everyone else, keep score, and get even with others when they lose. They have no idea how to be a servant leader. Does that remind you of anybody? Anybody you can think of? Wow. Jesus modeled the way by washing people's feet and going to the cross. And he challenged his followers to make sacrifices to serve others rather than expecting others to make sacrifice to serve them. He said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it." That's from Luke 23:24. Following the example of politics, we've allowed our differences with others to become divisions between ourselves and others. While differences are inevitable, creating divisions is a choice. It isn't necessary for us to build walls with each other to follow Jesus' example. For example, and this is where um, Dr. Maxwell talks about his wife. For example, my wife, Margaret, and I have been married for 55 years. There are areas where we do not agree, yet we still love, value, and respect each other. People will tell you to create divisions, pull away, or challenge the opposition. During an election season, they'll say the most important decisions you will make is who you vote for. Okay, now let me get the other page out here. Hold on. Well, that is the next page. Okay. That's not true. The most important decision is who you're going to be. Jesus said, "In the same way I loved you, you love one another. This is how everyone will recognize that you're my disciples, when they see the love that you have for each other." That's from John 13:34-35. The modeling of Jesus, the high road leader, and everything in Scripture calls all Christ followers to walk a higher road than others do. Do I have an amen? Amen. How will you walk? Recently, my pastor, Todd Mullins, challenged everyone in the congregation of Christ Fellowship to adopt a biblical perspective of who we are as Christians and how to live our lives. As he did this, he reminded us of three truths about ourselves as followers of Christ. Number one, we're not only citizens of a country, we're citizens of heaven. In his letter to the Philippians, Paul challenged them not to be enemies of the cross of Christ. He pointed out their mind is set on earthly things and reminded them as followers of Christ, but our citizenship is in heaven. And we eagerly await a Savior from there, the Lord Jesus Christ, who, by the power that enables him to bring everything under his control, will transform our lowly bodies so that they will be like his glorious body. That's some strong words. In other words, the world we inhabit is not our world. We're only passing through it, and we must never forget that. How true is that? We're just visiting, right? Number two, we're not just citizens of heaven, we're ambassadors of Christ. To the people of Corinth, Paul stated that God has committed to us a message of reconciliation. We're therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. The role of an ambassador is an important one. Ambassadors represent their leader and their nation or kingdom in everything they say or do. As ambassadors for Christ and his kingdom, we do not have the freedom of expressing our own message. Our message is that of reconciliation between God and people. Jesus, our high road leader, expects us to live out high road behavior with others in everything we do. Our world is filled with people who live on the low road. That's understandable because our world is filled with sin and darkness. What kind of ambassadors are we if our actions and values as Christians are the same as those who have no relationship with God? When we live that way, how can we be a light in this dark world? And number three, We're not just ambassadors of Christ, we are chosen to do priestly work. And I've still got to work or to watch the show, The Chosen. I still haven't done that yet. That's on my list. Okay. In his first epistle, the Apostle Peter wrote to believers. Try that 10 times. In his first epistle, the Apostle Peter wrote to believers, "But you are the ones chosen by God, chosen for the high calling of priestly work, chosen to be a holy people, God's instruments to do his work and speak out for him, to tell others of the night and day difference he made for you, from nothing to something, from rejected to accepted." Friends, this world is not your home, so don't make yourselves cozy in it. Don't indulge your ego at the expense of your soul. Live an exemplary life in your neighborhood so that your actions will refute their prejudices. Then they'll be won over to God's side and be there to join in the celebration when he arrives. Our role as Christians is to help people connect with God. It's not possible to do that if we continually draw lines, argue with people, and build walls between us and them. Jesus came to this earth to be on common ground with us so he could connect with God. As his chosen representatives, we must do the same. When we take the high road, we love and value people the way Jesus did. That will make us look at people with whom we disagree in a different light. C.S. Lewis said, that's funny, I just quoted him last night. C.S. Lewis said, "There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. It is immortals who we joke with, work with, marry, snub, and exploit." Knowing that Jesus took the high road with everyone and knowing he wants you to follow his example, what are you going to do? Will you follow in his footsteps? Will you embrace all of Jesus' values? Values are more than just decisions, they're your soul. The values you and I live determine how we behave and how our culture will function, regardless of the laws we make. Matters of the heart will never be solved with a legislative action. It's much easier to rewrite the laws of the land than to change the heart. It's also less effective. Poet and critic Samuel Johnson was right when he wrote, "How small of all that human hearts endure, that part which laws or kings can cause or cure." As people who have been saved by grace, we know that only Jesus can cure the human heart, and that is the message we need to pass on to others. How can we best do that? By following Jesus, our high road leader. Now, here's where Mr. Maxwell speaks about he and Chris Hodges. "Chris and I have spent our lives striving to follow Jesus and share his message with others. Like you, we want to be salt and light so others will have a relationship with Jesus. To do that, we must make people hungry, not angry. We want to share with you 8 behaviors that Jesus modeled in the Gospels that have taught and empowered us to be salt and light to others. Each of us explores 4 of them. We do this because only Jesus can make us attractive to people who don't know God. Only when we follow Jesus on the high road in a low road world will people want to know why we're different. We want to lead people to Jesus. That only happens on the high road where Jesus travels." So that's chapter 1 of John C. Maxwell and Chris Hodges, Jesus, the High Road Leader, which was on the New York Times bestseller list, by the way. Came out 2 years ago. So that's chapter 1. We'll do chapter 2, maybe in the next live episode. We'll see. It all ties in to spirituality, recovery, getting sober. Do I have to be religious to get sober? No, you don't have to be religious to get sober. However, according to the steps, the 12 steps in AA, the 12 steps in NA, the 12 steps in a lot of recovery institutes and programs, you need to have a higher power. Okay? Whether it's Jesus Christ and God or some other higher power, that's up to you. It's a free country at the moment. So it's totally up to you. What else? What else is going on? Let's see. Hi. Hi. Glad you're here. So, any questions or comments? Just feel free to put those in at any time. So we talked about a little bit about recovery tonight. We talked definitely the high road leader. That's a nice way to follow up. Excuse me. I'm going to have a little sip here. Cafe au lait. No, it's just iced coffee. That's all. Don't tell anybody, but this is my addiction now. Iced coffee. Gotta have it. Keeps me going through the day. I know caffeine's a drug, right? That's okay. We'll live with that. Is this a little bright? I wonder if I got too much light. Do I have too much light? Let's see if this is better. Maybe I should turn some of these lights out. I don't know. Let's see. I turn that one up. Oh, that's way too dark now. Is that better? That's not too bad. I bought these lights to do video, and sometimes they get a little bit overbearing, but that's okay. We can live with it. So how are you doing tonight? Did you have a good day today? I hope you did. Whether you're watching this in the morning, afternoon, evening, overnight, I hope that you're doing well on the road to recovery. And it doesn't matter what you're recovering from. There's always help out there, right? So we're going to kind of wrap things up now for this evening. And I wish you a good night. You can always go back and watch some of the previous live shows that we've had. They're all in the archives there on YouTube, on my channel, Aware and Convinced. And I hope you have a good night and a good day and a better day tomorrow. All right. God bless you. God bless our veterans. Don't forget to trust God, clean house, and help others. That'll get you sober. That'll get you sober. And certainly on your way. That's for sure. Don't ever forget that somebody out there loves you. And we'll see you next time. Take care for now. Bye-bye.